Let's talk about the new Bumble ad campaign and these billboards that went up recently. A vow of celibacy is not the answer.
All right, so I'm calling this one the Bumble Fumble because there's no way that the people down at Bumble have a TikTok account. Like with all the dating horror stories that are out there, especially from dating apps. Like, this one is not adding up. This one is not adding up. So first, we're about to listen to what people from TikTok had to say about these ads. And if you don't know, Bumble put out silly new ads, I guess. You know, they're losing customers. So they put out these new billboard ads, which read celibacy is not it. And let's just listen to what TikTok has to say.
Okay, obviously I have to weigh in on this mess of an ad campaign because, wowzer. I think what I find the most offensive is the idea that they think that women are stupid. The idea that they think even in 2024, women would look at these billboards and go, oh, they're right. Even though I've made this decision for myself to be voluntarily celibate because dating is such a nightmare and I've undergone so much mistreatment and experienced so much toxicity at the hands of men that I have made this choice for myself. I'm going to change my mind based on a billboard? It's offensive. Now, I am in a very happy relationship currently and couldn't be happier than being in that relationship. That being said, I completely understand with this movement that a lot of women are taking part in, which is being voluntarily celibate. And in fact, if anything, I feel like that is a product of all of this. They're complicit in creating the truly toxic and damaging dating world that we all exist in now. All of those apps are complicit. All of them are a part of it. It's the entire crux of why things have gotten the way they are. So the fact that Bumble thinks that they can back out of being complicit by putting out an ad campaign specifically targeted at shaming women, I mean, we're on to you. We're smarter than this. We're savvier than this. And again, none of us are going to forgive you or forget the fact that you were one of the key players in making the dating world, the modern dating world, as truly toxic as it is. And to be clear, I know that I'm using heteronormative terms. I am only doing that because I personally believe that this campaign is targeting women who are seeking heterosexual relationships. It just really feels like, you've heard about the commercial too, right? Where there's a nun who ends up, a woman who becomes a nun and then sees a hot shirtless man and so then decides to break her celibacy because, yeah, I mean, it's just, women are becoming voluntarily celibate because of what you did. Maybe there's just a bubble. Maybe it's just time. Maybe dating apps just aren't going to be the thing anymore. And you know the only people to blame for that are yourselves.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what she said. And I think this is a generalized thing too, because even if you look at some celebrities, like whoever's doing PR, like they're definitely tone deaf. Like they literally think they're just down. They just think people are down. And the fact that they don't pay people to like literally go into a market that they're trying to sell to, like the dating world, and just go ahead and say, you know what, let's watch some, I don't know, TikTok videos on dating just to see what, the vibes are. It's strange.
Just saw someone post about this new Bumble ad. I love how we're just skipping to the fucking point. Ladies, people of America, what you're doing is working and it's being noticed. You are a product being sold. And that is why I say it's either celibacy and not dealing with men at all, or it's dealing with people who can tangibly enrich your life. You have value in a sexual and dating marketplace. And a lot of people are going to hear me say that and think that I'm equating you assigning women value in a sexual and dating marketplace to them being a transactional thing or being a product to be sold. But at the end of the day, that's the way it is. So opt out. I'm all for everyone opting out. But if you must participate, make sure that you are getting more from that situation, more from dating than just promises, lies, and dick. Okay? I tagged the person who posted the original photo series below. You are valuable. Like it or not, when you start opting out, the whole world is going to fall the fuck apart. Don't ever, ever, ever forget that. But just to reiterate, I think celibacy is the answer. Where we're at now, with the rights being rolled back, with everything, celibacy is the answer.
Every company needs at least one chronically online 20-year-old working in their marketing department, because I'm not even on the 4B side of the internet, but even I understand like the shift going on with women.
Exactly. Even I get that this is completely tone deaf.
How did this get approved? How did so many eyes see this ad and go, yeah, that's the one? And don't even get me started on how these dating apps have basically gamified relationships and have like rotted everybody's brain. And the irony is not lost on me that a dating app catered to women has a billboard sign trying to gaslight women into going back to having sex. Like, wow. Even the language of the sentence, like, you know full well. Why does it feel so aggressive to me? It kind of feels like they're telling you, like, who said that you could stop popping that? Like, get back to work. As a married woman, if you want to opt out of dating, and that also means you want to opt out of being physical with other people, that is 100% okay in your choice. I see nothing wrong with that. If anything, celibacy is the answer. Like, celibacy can do wonders for somebody. But this could have all been avoided if they just listened to like one intern on their team. Because I know somebody had to have been like, I don't know about this. This is just what happens when people are just completely not rooted in reality anymore, and they are just unable to take the temperature of the public and to read the room. Because how did you think that this would have been okay? I don't get it.
So Bumble is back with a full-throated apology, and I want to know how you guys feel about it. To our beloved Bumble community, we made a mistake. Our ads referencing celibacy were an attempt to lean into a community frustrated by modern dating and instead bringing joy and humor. We unintentionally did the opposite. Some of the perspectives we heard were from those who shared that celibacy is the only answer when reproductive rights are continuously restricted, from others from whom celibacy is a choice, one that we respect, and from the asexual community for whom celibacy can have a particular meaning and importance which should not be diminished. We are also aware that for many, celibacy may be brought on by harm or trauma. For years, Bumble has passionately stood up for women in marginalized communities and their rights to fully exercise personal choice. We didn't live up to those values with this campaign, and we apologize for the harm it caused. So here's what we're doing. We're removing these ads from our global marketing campaign. Bumble will be making a donation to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, among other organizations, as a part of our ongoing efforts to support the work being done around the world to support women, marginalized communities, and those impacted by abuse. We will also be offering those partners this billboard space to display an ad of their choice for the duration of our reserved billboard time. Please keep speaking up and telling us how we can be better. We care about you, and we're always here for you. With love and sincere appreciation, Bumble. They must have had Olivia Pope on the PR team, because this apology is well done. It hits all the key takeaways. They definitely took in our feedback. They showed you exactly what they're going to do about it. They took accountability. They're making a sizable donation to a worthwhile cause. They're donating their ad space. They did all the right things in the response and the apology. It's just that the ad was in such poor taste and was so tone deaf, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Then they're going to say this was an attempt at humor because we're frustrated by the modern day dating scene. Well, women aren't frustrated because they're not getting any. A woman can always get some. Always. It's the men that have to beg and plead and sometimes choose violence in order to get it. So it wasn't even meant to be a joke. It was meant for you to let your male users on your app realize, look, we're doing the best we can to make sure you get some. So y'all pimps now.
All right, let's talk about Bumble's new Just Fuck Him ad. That's not what it's called, but that's the sentiment. So I think it's a miss for the brand for a multitude of reasons. So first of all, when we look at the origin story of Bumble differentiated itself in the dating app world in two different ways. First of all, this idea that women had to make the first move was ideally and originally premised in women's empowerment. That was one part of Bumble. Like, they really leaned into that. And then the second part of Bumble was that you could pick if you wanted to meet a romantic partner or if you wanted to meet a friend or a networking contact. And both of those things were actually still part of their core brand DNA. Like, I went to their homepage when I was looking at this campaign, and they have relaunched, which I'm going to talk about in a minute when it says introducing the new Bumble. But there's a story about, we'll call her Jane, who on Bumble met both her husband and her bridesmaid. So they're still leaning into the romantic partners or friends. And there's this whole idea that, again, it's women-centered. And so the whole reason why they took away
women making the first move, it's not to keep, gross guys out of your inbox. The reason why they took that away and anyone can make a move is to relieve the burden on women. So first of all, let me say, I had high hopes for whatever brand messaging Bumble was going to come back with, because their intermediary campaign, like their campaign warming us up for the new Bumble, was really good. They went to their Instagram, they stripped away all of the content that was there. They put up these memes of like women in history, throughout history, and they wrote exhausted, and they were like, a new Bumble is coming, and I was like, ooh, what's Bumble working on? And we're in a moment where dating apps could create really cool messaging. So like, I tell you what, if someone came to me and were like, we need something around women's empowerment, 100% the first idea that I would pitch them would be Samantha Jones. Every single generation is obsessed with Sex and the City right now. Gen Z is watching it for the first time. Millennials and Gen X and Boomers are all watching it again. It's a comfort show. And universally, everyone's obsessed, as they should be, with Samantha Jones. And when you think about Bumble, which is supposed to be a site where you are empowered in your own dating journey, and you can also like be a boss and meet professional contacts and friends, Samantha Jones would have been such a cool, especially because nostalgia is big right now, 90s big, she's having such a moment, like a Samantha Jones themed like reemergence campaign would have been gorgeous. But no, Bumble didn't go with Samantha Jones. They didn't stick with like the strange historic memes, which were kind of interesting, and a pattern interrupt. They went with the just fuck him billboard, and I'm calling it that for a few reasons. Not only a play on Nike, clearly, but the construction of this sentence is distressing, and it's the full well. It's the quality of the lyrics in Baby It's Cold Outside. It's the quality of the lyrics. What is the Robin Thicke song? I have been trying to think. I had to re-record this TikTok. It's the Robin Thicke song. He did it with Pharrell. He did it with T.I. It made Emily Ratajkowski a household name because there's the one that played on MTV, and then there's like the other version where she's topless, and two other models who didn't become as famous as she did. It's a good song too, but it pretty much ended his career. But there's that moment of the song where he's saying like, you want it. And unfortunately, throughout time, women have been forced into really uncomfortable and even situations of SA with this idea of, you want it. And so this idea of like, full well of not having sex is not the answer, first of all, harkens back to a lot of messaging that has been used to force women to have sex over the years. Like, well, choosing not to have sex isn't the answer. Come fuck me. You know what I mean? Like, it's uncomfortable. Like, the next thing that's weird is that not only is there huge conversations on TikTok, if you're paying attention around Sex and the City, there are conversations around celibacy. There are conversations around how incredibly challenging the dating scene is in this moment for women. Dating apps are for women. But again, this idea of like, full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Bumble is. They get set up like a classic like problem solution. Like, what is the answer in your dating life? Not withdrawing sex or withholding sex. Going on Bumble and finding someone to fuck is like the meaning of your existence, ladies. Bumble's here to solve that for you. And again, it's just so counterintuitive to the origin story. Because it doesn't feel sex positive. It doesn't feel empowering to women. And like, just a moment for my like street cred in marketing this space, I literally for a year marketed a product called the Cooch Ball, and we did it really well. We had 1 8-second video get 70 million views organic on Instagram. I believe in sex positive brands. I believe in sex positive creative done the right way. We've done sex positive creative and we've done it well. This is not sex positive creative, because the idea of, like not having sex is not the answer is so cringy. The way that it's set up, like, I know I already said this, but like, because I just keep looking at it and I'm like, who approved this billboard? I swear to God, if you had this beautiful model and it said, get yours, introducing the new Bumble, I would feel more comfortable with that than this, like, because you're like, it's almost like you're challenging. You're finding a beautiful woman who's saying, like, in this moment I'm celibate, and you're saying to her, like, that's not the answer. You're wrong. You're questioning a woman's bodily autonomy in this billboard is how it reads. And it reads in the most, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, like, in this creative meeting, I would be like, why not just write, like, just fuck him. Just fuck the loser. Just fuck the guy you met on Bumble. Like, I don't like it. Anyhow, I want to know what you think. I've seen some other people comment on this. It so far does not seem to be a universally popular billboard. I think it was a miss. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Ever see something like this and you think to yourself, how the fuck does this happen? Like, how does a company with most likely hundreds of employees fumble the bag on a campaign so fucking hard? I know that we're all thinking this because honestly, it's like constantly happening almost weekly at this point. So I'm gonna break down why this happens so often. The biggest issue with Bumble is that they clearly have no idea who their target audience is. And you might be thinking like, well, maybe it was just some marketing person and this somehow slipped through the cracks, but absolutely not. That did not happen. That is not true, because at the core of this issue, they have no fucking idea who their target audience is. Now, if I just had to take a guess at who Bumble's target audience is, I would say it's millennial and Gen Z women. They care about social issues. They're smart. They're independent. They're action takers, right? Because Bumble is the one where women make the first move. And the thing is that this campaign might have gone over well for them 5 years ago, but that's the thing, is that audience behavior and your audience's wants, their needs, their desires, what drives them, what they care about at this point in marketing and like the day and age we live in, those things that your audience cares about changes literally every 3 to 6 months at this point. So if you are not staying on top of those things and in tune with your audience to your core, that's how these massive fuck ups like this Bumble advertisement happen so often now, because these people are so out of touch with who their audience is to their core. And let me be clear that being in tune with your audience doesn't just go for massive corporations. This goes for anyone who owns a business. If you want to be successful, if you want to make sales, if you want to grow a cult following and have people obsessed with you and your offer or your product, you have to be in tune with who your audience is to your core. You need to know them like they've been your best friend for 20 years. So Bumble, if you're watching this and you need a millennial girly who has experience in marketing and PR and who understands that the key to a successful marketing campaign is actually knowing your target audience like they're your fucking bestie, you know where to find me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This one is definitely tone deaf. Like the one ad it was giving, like, when a girl who's been with a dude and she keeps taking him back, and it's like her 144th time, when she tells her friend, "Yeah, I'm about to leave him," and then like, bye. That's what it was giving a girl, bye. So you guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and like, share, and subscribe.